So, it is October as I record this, and I feel like I'm missing something because it's official beanie season after all. Greetings the internet and hello from this part of the galaxy. It's your boy Spud, and in this episode of Mountains Out of Molehills, I'm going to be answering a question that nobody really asked. Are esports better than real life sport? Before I really get into the whole argument, there's already a lot of controversy regarding the very definition of sport. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a sport is an activity that includes physical exertion, skill, competition and entertainment. Other open source dictionaries tend to place less importance on the physical aspect of the whole argument. How physical or athletic is competitive fishing anyway? Essentially, it all boils down to an and or conundrum. Physical prowess and skill, or physical prowess or skill. Many dictionaries tend to stick with the or part of the equation and include the requirement of a set of rules. Some dictionaries insist that both are necessary. Merriam-Webster, the absolute mad lad, brings it down to the very basics. Sport. Noun, a source of diversion, recreation. You could go back and forth all day about the definition, because choosing one definition defines esports as a sport, whereas if you choose another, it's a whole different story. Sport purists tend to argue by insisting on the physical aspect of the whole thing. However, the culture and the evidence itself proves. Sure, esports are not exactly very physical, but competitive gaming requires a tremendous amount of physical stamina and mental fortitude. Imagine having to play multiple matches during tournaments. Believe it or not, sitting around for hours on end is not an easy task. Trust me, I know. You don't have to have the strength of an ox to drive a race car, but the WRC and F1 are still regarded amongst some of the most popular sports in the world. Similarly, many other sports can't exactly lay their claim on the physical prowess part of the equation. Chess or golf will hardly have you hitting the gym 7 times a week. However, all competitors for the title of a sport require a good amount of mental fortitude, even if it is just patience in some cases. One of the most important aspects of any sport is having the skill to play said sport. Trust me when I say this, gamers are some of the most dedicated people on this planet. They spend hundreds, no thousands of hours on the game of their choice, perfecting their skills and finding the most efficient strategies to win, whether it be by exploiting the system or by some serious big brain plays. There are many pros who put in over 10 to 12 hours of daily practice, whether it be streaming their gameplay or just scrimming with teammates, finding the perfect strat to execute to win. In fact, I would argue that in this aspect, esports outshine real sports by a massive margin, and that's because of changing metas, which rarely, if ever, happens in real life sports. You don't expect to wake up one day and just find that FIFA has changed the rules to football and now it's a best of 3, first to score twice wins. Now for it to be a sport, you need to be playing against other people, obviously, and that brings us to competitiveness. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel that accessibility plays a very big part in the competitiveness of the sport. You don't see every kid in your public school walk out with a horse with them to go play polo, and that in my opinion makes polo a not very competitive sport. Football on the other hand is one of those sports that you can just set up for anywhere, and all you really need is a ball, a couple of friends and something to mark out a goalpost with. But it lacks accessibility when it comes to physical inability or disability. I mean, you can't play football without all of your limbs, or if you just can't handle strenuous physical activity. However, with the widespread nature of personal computers these days and several esports titles going free to play, gaming is more accessible than ever. Games like Dota 2 or CSGO could essentially run on a system which is over a decade old, making them the game of choice for people who can't afford high-end gaming systems. As long as you have a computer and internet connection and enough upper body function to operate a mouse and a keyboard, you're good to go. Just the number of people playing these games from all over the world makes the nature of these games extremely competitive, almost toxically so. Another one of those things that defines a sport is the camaraderie that is developed between people when they're working towards a common goal. Team sports have the uncanny ability of making people see beyond prejudice, and that in my opinion is beautiful. The social aspect of sport makes it a very healthy outlet for players to have fun while meeting new people and just bonding over the love of the game. The fact that esports are played on online servers means that not only your friends can yell at you when you fuck up, but a random guy from bumfuck nowhere can roast the shit out of you if you throw the game. But on a more serious note, the sheer scale of people who play these games online is leagues ahead of what you can find physically. You can't play physical sports without coordinating with at least 4 to 5 other people and then getting together with them and all that shit. But this isn't an issue with esports. This no friends, no problem kind of approach to matchmaking in esports makes it the perfect choice for people who suffer from social anxiety or just someone who wants to enjoy a match of their favorite game at 3 a.m. in the morning. You might end up finding people that you play with regularly after that. It could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I can attest to this. I have met some of my closest friends through video games. Now, for a sport to be really something that's taken seriously in this day and age, it has to make some serious dough for the people who broadcast it. Many physical sports like racing, football, cricket are heavily monetized by broadcasters and corporations. Spectator sports have been a mainstay in civilization since ancient times, and it's not very different right now. However, over the last decade or so, eSports have steadily risen to the point of becoming a mainstream form of entertainment. Spectators and players alike have made this esports scene a multi-billion-dollar industry with prize money for tournaments breaking records year after year. While I agree that football or cricket is more mainstream because they've cemented their viewer base over decades, esports have relatively more entertainment value due to the sheer unpredictability of the professionals that play on that stage. The nature of esports itself makes it a lot more exciting to watch for people who don't really understand what's going on, and that's a big thing in my opinion. Now, to answer the question that none of you asked, but if you clicked on this video, you are probably waiting for, are esports actually better than real sports? I would say yes. In some ways, esports are much better than physical sports. Although yes, the lack of physical exertion when you're playing video games means that you have to get your exercise elsewhere. Maybe go play some sports with your real friends. Oh wait, no. Don't do that. Stay home. Stay safe. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and please subscribe. Tell me what you think about the question down in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.